Present March, played by the United States Marine Pipe and the Drum Corps.
We're live.
Hey, we're back again. Episode
Three of Two in the Bush.
Two in the Bush. I'm number 2. And we have a special guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Amy, and I don't know what two in the bush means, so you should explain that to me.
What does two in the bush mean, Kelsey?
I'm too young to know.
Okay. So you're, now correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a taxidermist?
No, I'm not a taxidermist. I'm a taxidermist enthusiast.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Well,
Go on.
yes.
Well, I just happen to like taxidermy. I think it's a cool art form, and I like the odder the better. And I have a taxidermied squirrel. His name is Melville, and he has a hat collection.
I would love to see Melville, the taxidermied squirrel.
Yeah, let's just jump right into this
All
and
right.
I need a visual representation, because I'm not that familiar with taxidermy, so I just need to...
She's getting Melville out of a bag.
This right here is Melville. He's rocking a stash and a poncho. He has a sombrero and little maracas, but they're in storage right now.
Oh my god. He's better dressed than me.
So, is he from south of the border, or is this just a thematic?
It's, Chet, it is possible. He is quite large. If you imagine him next to an Iowa squirrel, I get the feeling he's from somewhere else
Are you
where
saying
they're
Mexicans
beefier.
are large?
That is a large squirrel now that I really take it in.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So-
and the tail, if it wasn't broken, it would be a little
It
bigger.
just dangles. Oh,
Maya.
my.
Maya.
You cannot eat.
Well, we could possibly, it would be possible to get Maya taxidermy.
Yes. Some people have their pets
So,
taxidermied.
do we wait until they die, or how do you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
They're obviously deceased.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
And I read a book about taxidermy, but unfortunately I have a horrible memory, so I don't remember most of the details. But they make like a form that the skin goes on, and then they add in like fake eyes.
Oh
and
my.
if it has like a fake tongue or whatever. I've seen a deer head mount where its tongue was sticking out reaching for a berry. That one was pretty cool.
Ooh.
Stuff like that, so...
So, when did you first discover your interest in taxidermy? Was this happened when you were young?
It probably was, because I've been going to flea markets and antique stores my whole life, and I'm sure I saw some weird taxidermy and liked it.
What was your first taxidermy purchase? Was it Melville? Did you purchase Melville? How did you acquire Melville?
Was that a gift?
My dad bought Melville for me because he knew I would want one.
Sure.
So,
As any daughter would.
and whenever I see taxidermy, it's way too expensive for me to be able to afford, and usually it's really, like, in horrible shape, like it's falling apart.
What's expensive? Give me, like, a ballpark.
$100 or higher.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's for, like, a really gross-looking one that's been damaged and stuff, so...
Whoa.
Yes.
So, when you're looking at a taxidermied piece that you're thinking about purchasing,
Yeah.
what are the qualities that you're looking for?
Well, I'm looking for it to be realistic looking. If it's janky looking, then I'm not gonna want it. I mean, Melville here, I have to say, he's got some issues. You can tell he's a more amateur one, because his body shape just does not look natural at all. And he's got a mysterious liquid on his side. I don't really want to know what it is.
Unsettling.
He has a bit of a beer belly, it looks like.
And wait, there's a gross spot on his stomach too.
Oh, yeah.
He needed a loving home. So,
I'm glad he found you.
yeah, he found me.
How does one become a skilled taxidermist?
I think it takes just a lot of practice. And I suppose you would have to be artistic as well.
Did you autistic?
Artistic.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's not funny.
Sorry,
Yeah,
no, I didn't laugh at it. Amy did. So
You can leave now.
my next question is what is the next step? What is the next purchase for Amy? What have you had your eye on? What have you been dreaming about? Taxidermy.
Well, I've seen, and my dad has some, like, frogs playing little instruments. I think those are pretty cool.
Huh.
They're like big toads or big frogs.
I've never thought about animals that didn't have fur being taxidermied for some reason.
It does happen.
Awesome.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you, Chet.
Now, do you prefer to have them like in some sort of pose, such as playing an instrument or in a sombrero?
Yes, I have to say I'm a fan of the kitschy taxidermy myself.
So, not
Kitschy.
au natural.
Yeah, not all natural. My dad has a taxidermied fox that's laying curled up, and it is very pretty. But I like something that people are gonna laugh at, and it's gonna make people, I don't know, happy.
Good.
So,
How many pieces of taxidermy does your father own?
well, he had some weird raccoons, including and kind of like a cinnamon colored raccoon, which is not quite albino, but light colored. But he got rid of those. And I don't know if he still has, like, the frog, because it's hidden away.
Oh.
If he does.
That must be hard for you.
He has a dried up, like, piranha that he beat me to at a garage sale, and I was really jealous, because it was also really cheap, and it's really cool. But,
So, any animal can be, am I using the right term? Taxidermied?
taxidermied,
Taxidermified.
or there's, like,
Yeah.
the animals in formaldehyde that are in the jars.
Ooh.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds
too.
cool. What is that? Do you have one of those?
No, I don't.
Animals in formaldehyde
I do
in a jar.
not. I do not have one
That's
of
what that
those.
is.
I was just hoping she
I
could
think it would
illustrate
be too creepy, quite honestly, even for me. So,
Cool.
even though I have a real coffin.
What?
Yes, I have.
In your house?
Yes, I have in my living room a coffin that's made
you-
into a bookshelf.
Oh, so you don't sleep in it?
No,
Okay.
it's too little for me. It must have been for children.
Oh my god.
It's from around the 1880s, and it was used to display bodies before they were buried.
Oh, so what?
So, yeah.
What cemetery did you get it out of?
I don't know. I don't know. I got it at the Watch Your Flea Market.
Ah.
The guy had a book that came with it. The person who was like the funeral director or whatever would keep track of payments, and people would like trade gravel and chickens and things like that for burials. Which,
Wow.
that's not how we do it anymore.
Gravel. What?
Like
How could-
loads of gravel. I don't know. For like I guess the road driveway or something. I don't
She
know.
wasn't alive then. She's
Yeah, I
not
don't know
sure.
what they did with gravel in the 1880s.
I just always hear people bitching about how expensive funerals are. Apparently, in the 1880s, not so much.
Not
Well,
so
people
much.
couldn't really afford their own caskets, so they would, like be displayed in that, and then they would get buried in like a simpler box or
Oh.
possibly nothing. I don't know.
Like a rental casket.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's an idea. We should bring that back.
I don't want to be in a casket when
No.
I'm buried.
Yeah, I don't think I do either.
I'm just going right in the dirt.
It's all in.
Yep. So then I can, my body starts to break down and I go back into the earth.
From whence you came.
Yes.
I think you can get buried like with like a tree, so that a tree grows out of you or
Yes,
something.
that's
Like,
what I wanna
they
do.
That. They do that.
I read an article about that. That's where this idea came from. I want the tree burial.
The tree
Shit, you've
bear.
got it all figured out. Look at you.
So if anyone's listening to this, if I die, whoever's in charge, I want the tree thing.
Make me a tree.
So,
What kind of tree do you want to be buried with?
oh, you get to pick the tree?
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Probably. I
I
would
would
hope
assume.
so. Like,
Well, it probably has to be a tree native to wherever.
Well, where are you being buried? You have so many options.
I don't know. That's weird. How do you make that choice?
well, I mean, if you're getting buried with a tree, I feel like you could choose a place that would be a nice place for a tree. But then again, I'm sure the government would be like, no, you can't just go burying yourself wherever you want.
Damn government
Yeah.
regulations.
Shh.
Joke.
Whatever. I'm
You
dead.
could
I don't
just
care.
do it in secret. You never know. You could
Um,
probably
Yeah,
get
just
away
have
with
somebody
it.
bury your body and not report your death.
To be determined. I don't know where, but I do want the tree. I don't know. What's a cool tree? What's a chet tree?
I'm thinking maybe a birch tree.
How about a bush?
There you go.
Oh, does that mean I also have to get buried and become a bush so that it's actually 2 in the bush till we die?
Yes.
I'm willing.
I happen to also be, I want to be a treasure hunter, and I used to ask for a metal detector for Christmas as a child.
Is there not one at that local consignment store?
You know, sometimes I feel like a treasure hunter, Amy, because I found you.
Oh, Kelsey, that's so nice of you to say.
Yeah, it's weird when you come across like old people in parks. You never know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying?
True. One time I was playing frisbee golf.
Oh, you play frisbee golf?
Well, I don't like to play. I just like to follow people around while they play.
Well, I'm not good at it.
Keep them company. And my friend was playing, and his frisbee ended up landing on a deer carcass.
One time I was playing frisbee golf, and I was walking from one station to the next. One goal, one golf, one
hole.
Hole, sure. Okay, yeah, in golf it's a hole, so I guess in frisbee golf it can also be a hole. And I nearly stepped on the carcass of a dead squirrel that was missing its head, and I think we've just come full circle because you have a dead squirrel here with us today.
If this was a comedy
taxidermy.
act, we would be like, awesome.
But
Coming full
This is
circle
not.
like that.
you know, but it's not over yet because I have a dead animal story I want to tell. I was with some friends and we were camping and we were leaving the campsite for the night. So they got in their car and I got my car and I'm following them. And all of a sudden my tire goes flat and they're in front of me and I'm like, oh, they'll stop. I honk at them, like flash my lights. I didn't have a cell phone at the time. And so they did not heed the honking or the flashing of lights. Maybe they didn't see it and they just kept driving. I was like, well, that plan didn't work.
Nope.
So I get out of the car. I'm like, yep, that's flat. I don't have a spare tire with me because that was my spare tire. That is now flat. So I'm like, oh, well, I guess I just gotta walk back to town. Hell, it's only like 5 miles and I gotta walk along the highway. It's could be worse. And it's like, so I'm walking and it's like not lit. It's a no light road. There's no lights on this road. So I'm walking along this road, and this is winter time, or it's cold. There is some amount of snow on the ground, but it's not like 4 feet of snow.
Okay.
There's some amount of snow and it's cold. And I am not dressed for that. So I'm a little cold. I'm walking along the side of the highway. It's dark. Walking. Man, it is cold. My feet are cold. I don't have like good boots on for this. I have like tennis shoes. Walking, it's cold. Take a step, and I step into something, and then I break through it, and then all of a sudden there's this warmth that envelops my foot. And for a second I'm like, oh, that feels good, awesome. But then I'm like, oh shit, what is this? This is gross. So I pull my foot out, and I'm like freaking out because it's dark. I don't have a phone. I have a flashlight. I'm getting down. I'm trying to figure out what this is. A car drives by, and their headlights illuminate that I have just stepped into the carcass of a dead deer. I have broken through its flesh, and my foot has sunk into its carcass, and now I have blood and guts on my shoe. And I freak out. I have to walk like another 2 miles, and then I see someone else. And then finally I wave a car down, and by happenstance, the person pulls over, and I know them. And they're like, oh, hell, Chet, hop on in. What you doing on the side of the road? I'm like, oh, my tire went flat. I was walking to my friends. They're like, well, get on in. And I get in. We get about like a mile or it's a couple minutes down the road. And they're like, what's that smell? I'm just like, I don't know what it is. They're like, what is that?
Wait, your leg is covered in blood and you're just casually like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to. Hell, I got to ride. I'm not getting kicked out.
It's nothing. Hides leg.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. What is that smell? That is gross. There must be roadkill on the side of the road. And obviously it's my foot, but with the guts and the rot, because it was a pretty ripe deer.
Ew.
Obviously I broke through its flesh by stepping on it, so it was bloated. It's kind of a mini. There may have been a small pop when I went through it, but that may be an exaggeration.
I want to die.
But I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, I gotta roll the windows down. I'm like, yeah, we should. And I got home and I threw those shoes away. And I called my friends who did not stop for me when I had the flat tire. And like, where you been? We've been waiting. I'm like, well, I was behind you. My tire went flat. And I honked. And they're like, we were wondering why you're flashing your lights. I was like, thanks. And then they came and got me, and we changed the tire, yada, blah, blah, blah. End of the story. I stepped into a deer carcass. So
Entered a deer carcass with your foot.
Yes. Enter the deer carcass.
That sounds like a band.
It probably is.
Or a song. Enter the deer carcass. Enter the Sandman.
Yes. I got it. We all got it.
Please don't let my word be the last word of the story.
I'm trying to help you. I like deer. I think they're beautiful creatures, and I'm so sorry that actually, I'm lying. I am actually terrified of deer.
Why?
Because they're always threatening to kill you when you're driving down the road. I've actually hit deer, but I've been able to slow down enough where they did not hurt me or them. You give them that little tap, and then they fall down, and they get up, and they're like, why'd you do that? And I'm like, you were in the road. I was like, you could have hurt me a lot worse.
I wonder at what threshold do they put up deer crossing signs?
That is. See, that's what I'm saying. Those stretches must have a lot of deer fatalities.
So, Chet,
Yes.
Let's
get off of that.
I would love to go through your closet, and I would like to know what percentage of your shirts are plaid.
I have a lot of solid shirts, but I've gained a little weight. So I went up from an extra small to a small.
Oh God.
And so
Yourself go.
so the solid shirts don't quite fit anymore, so I'm not yet able to fit in those, but I am working on my weight.
Hashtag
So
goals.
I hope to be down from a small to an extra small within the next 4 or 5 months. So, and I know a lot of people have issues with staying in shape and with their weight, and I want you to know I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm trying to go from a small to an extra small, and I feel your pain. I see so many unattractive people in the world.
Primarily at like Walmart.
Or at a consignment store.
Oh, also there.
That's maybe, like, it seems like if you go to a Walmart, there's a consignment store nearby. And if you go into that consignment store...
Across the street, in fact.
Oh, boy. You know, people come in all shapes, forms, and sizes, and their faces do as well. And who am I to judge what the, aesthetic standard for beauty is? But sometimes you see people and you just go, hey, I don't think they're beautiful. And I'm not saying, like, that necessarily drugs play a part in this, but I do believe when you go to a consignment store, sometimes you see a lot of people that appear to be under the influence of drugs. Maybe something like methamphetamines. Methamphetamines? How do you say that?
Yeah.
Meth. We'll go with the short. Meth. Generally, people who do meth aren't that hot.
Generally, yeah. I would agree.
I don't know where I was going with this. It feels like
There's a lot of unattractive people in the world, is what I'm saying, and I'm better than all of them.
and a lot of them are on meth.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't think
Not
it's.
all unattractive people are on meth, but all people on meth are unattractive.
Yes, this is what I'm trying to say. Who am I? I'm completely mediocre looking. Also, the people in my family that swear by Pootie wipes, I was also with them once on a road trip where we stopped at a truck stop, and they went to the females' restroom, and they had bidets. The males did not have this, and they were so impressed. They ran out. They're like, oh my God, they had bidets in there. You wouldn't believe it. And they're telling me all about it, and I was like, I don't need to know that.
I feel like it would just be odd in one manner or another.
I would love to have one.
To use one at a truck stop seems unsettling
Seems
to me.
unsettling.
It's in the females' restroom.
I like, do they warm up the water, or is it just like cold water just
Yeah.
hitting your ass?
It's warmed.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like it might be nice, almost too nice, if you know what I mean.
No, I'm saying, like, I already spend a lot of time on the toilet because I like being there, but if I had like a warm spray of water, I'm gonna be honest. No, I'm not. Well, hey, you never don't. What did they say? Don't
Knock it till you try
Yeah,
it.
don't knock it till you try
Got
it.
it.
Who's to know? You could practice at home. Sorry.
What?
So, where are we going next with this conversation?
Well, I have a story.
You know what?
It's not relevant to anything that we talked about.
Oh, no,
I
but
would like to hear this
this
story.
is just
Yeah.
kind of a free-flowing discussion we're having.
So, we're at a friend's birthday bonfire. We're having some drinks, we're having a good time, and, well, I've never met this guy before in my life, but let's call him Jay.
Hello, my name is Jay.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. So I'm kind of talking to him, but I'm mostly talking to my friends, and he's eavesdropping. And he mutters something to me, and I can't tell what he says, and I'm very drunk. And I'm sitting, like, in front of him on the ground, and he's in a chair. And so I lean in, and I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. And he says,
Come closer.
so I lean in, and then he gets that look on his face that implies that he's about to start kissing me.
Oh.
Oh.
And how are you feeling about this,
Not
Kelsey?
great about it. So I back away, and I'm like, no.
Did you do that hand
I did the
gesture?
little finger wag, yeah,
Oh,
like
you
where you
did.
take your index finger and you wag it, and you're like,
I've never done this.
Well, I did it. It might be the only time that I ever did.
I wish I could have witnessed this.
So I'm talking to my friends. I'm ignoring him because I feel very uncomfortable and paranoid. And then one of our friends tries to introduce him to a female that's there. And me, being drunk and belligerent, I'm like, yeah, she's really cute. Like, she's awesome. And he looks at me, and he looks at her. And then he looks at me, and he grabs me, and he just puts his tongue in my mouth in front of
God.
everyone at this bonfire. And I reciprocate for like 5-10 seconds, because honestly, I'm just like, I admire your courage. And then after like 5 to 10 seconds, I come to my senses, and I'm like, I'm not attracted to this man, and I'm very drunk. I should stop this. Mm-hmm. So I stopped it. And then I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I'm pretending to make out with one of my female friends in order to get him to go away, which I realize is not helpful in retrospect.
This story is just...
I've seen this
Going
technique
places.
done before, so.
It didn't occur to me until just now telling the story how ineffective.
I mean, when I say I've seen this, like, in the third person, I was not the pursuer.
Okay, so anyway, I go inside to pee.
Inside? Oh, okay, so
There's a house.
Okay.
We're at a person's house and there's a bonfire. So I go inside, he's outside. So he tries to follow me inside. He trips on a wire and just falls flat on his face. And everyone is laughing. Everyone is laughing. And then like 30 seconds go by and he hasn't moved and they realize maybe we should be concerned about this. So his friend that brought him to the fire walks up to him, helps him up, gets him situated. That takes a few minutes. And this guy just goes and sits on the porch all by himself. But eventually his friend goes to him on the porch, talks to him for a few seconds, and then walks back over to where the guy fell, picks up his shattered glasses from off of his face, and brings them over to him. Because he fell so hard on his face that his glasses were just... But he goes back to the fire. He's had a few more drinks, and suddenly it all kind of catches up with him. Starts feeling not so good. And
Right.
projectile vomits onto the fire.
Oh my God.
Everyone is watching. He finishes throwing up, and it's all up in his beard because he has just this gnarly beard and mustache, and it's everywhere. And you can't just work that out. And drunk him thinks, how will I clean this up? I will use my t-shirt. So he just picks up his t-shirt, is like rubbing it all up in his vomit hair, mustache, cleaning that up. That works as well as you would expect. And finally his friend is like, hey, let's get you home, buddy. It's been a rough night. But also I'm gonna make out with this different girl that's at the fire and bring her home with us. So Jay ends up drunk, puke-covered beard, puke-covered t-shirt, sitting in the backseat of his friend's car, watching him go home with another girl, gets dropped off at his own home, alone, covered in his own vomit, to deal with his probably really sore and fucked up face. And that was Jay's night.
Jay had a rough night. I mean, you know, it could be worse. Of course, you should never stick your tongue down another human's throat without first...
Consent.
like some sort of, you know, not some sort, actual consent. You know, maybe
A verbal yes.
a verbal yes, or maybe you're having a really good repartee.
That's not funny. Don't work that word in.
Yeah. Did not do that on purpose. You know, you're getting along, and you can feel, you know, you get the cue to do the kiss, and then
Yeah, there's that eye
reciprocate.
contact
Yeah.
on both parties' parts.
However you decide to approach it, but not that way, I would suggest. I've never done that.
Especially not right after the person points out another girl for you to go after.
That always seems like the greatest indication that a girl is not interested in you. When you
So.
when you first meet a girl and you're attracted to them and you speak to them and you're like, well, maybe, and then they're like, that girl over there is real cute.
Yeah, go
You
for
should
that
date my
one.
friend.
That is a common technique, and I'm talking to all the gentlemen listeners who probably already know this, but that is a common technique. I've seen it. Third person. I've never had it.
It's never happened to you.
Never happened to me personally, just because I'd never really approached that many women because that would be scary. But I have seen it in action, and it seems pretty clear to me. So I don't know what his problem was.
It was also, the girl was my best friend. Like,
Oh.
we're very obviously close. We've been talking all night. So it's not like, oh, here's a random girl. It's like, I want you to date my friend. Which implies that I really don't want you because, you know, if I wanted you, I would set you up with a stranger and not have to, like, watch you date my friend or make out with my friend or whatever.
That makes sense. I
Yeah.
didn't think about all that.
Yeah, the closer the person is that you suggest, the
The-
more disinterested you are in dating that person,
Wow.
the gentleman.
That
Helpful
makes-
hint.
That makes it, but could that not get you into a dangerous type situation? What if perhaps they do take that advice, but they still have feelings for you? Now you got this person dating your best friend, but he also likes you. Now you're into some kind of weird...
That sounds like his problem.
No, it is his problem. But I'm just saying it could be turned into some weird, creepy...
Has this happened to you?
No, it just sounds like a 90s
It
movie.
sounds like a sitcom.
Yeah, no, like a thriller, like a 90s thriller.
Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
I was
So-
thinking like Friends, but
Oh.
you know, whatever.
No, I'm thinking like Lifetime, HBO perhaps. Depends on how hardcore you want to go.
I think it's worth it.
I've pulled that move as a guy myself.
See?
I've been like, no, but my friend over there likes you.
Yeah.
But I know.
And then your friend's like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah, he's like, I do not.
Leave me out of this.
He's like, I would not ever like that person. Why would you tell her that? And I'm like, I just got the impression you guys would just hit it
Yeah, I
off.
just really thought you guys had a deep connection.
And he's like, no.
I would never fork somebody off. onto
Well,
one of my
I guess I admit. I
That's
did.
nice of you.
I
I
did
guess
do
this
that.
is like the one time that's... Let's not act like I constantly have men just like, you know, propositioning me all the time. This was like a one-time thing.
No, you should act like that on the podcast.
Oh, I have men propositioning me all the time.
But you say no.
But I say no, and I
But-
always am like, you should date my friend.
There may be some special, really attractive man that's listening to this podcast and thinks you're hilarious, and he could
You're the one, babe.
he could perhaps have a chance.
Call me.
Amy's also available.
That's true. I
She's
am.
way better than me.
Now she has a lot to say. She's like, yes, hit me up.
Tell him your bra size, baby.
It's impressive.